Chapter 18. Near the end of the 7th week, the patient began vocalising words. Mum, Dad, yes. She also understood more. Skills and behaviour patterns were reappearing, but one concern was that the patient seemed to have difficulty reading even the large letters on the eye chart. It remains to be seen whether visual and/or comprehension abilities have been lost. There also seems to be a weakness on her left side, including her left arm and leg. Tara. I wasn't wearing those gloves anymore, and sometimes I felt myself swallowing things. Orange juice. A chocolate milkshake, my favourite. I didn't feel so sick when I was pushed in the wheelchair. Yeah, I knew it was a wheelchair now. One time, the moving made me scared I was going to puke again. So I thought, and I said, "Stop!" It came out faint and weird, but they understood. I'm doing new stuff all the time now. What do I know? There was a car, and it hit me. I can't remember where it happened or why I was there. I keep thinking there was a shop or something, but I don't know. I don't know who the car driver was either. What sort of shit is he? Yep, I bet it was a he. Another thing, I don't know what I look like now. I can't tell how my face feels. I can't tell if anything's happened to it. If I end up looking like some sort of freak because of that driver, I'll bloody rip him open. That guy who helped me, I want to thank him. Maybe Mel and Brittany know him. Mel knows lots of guys. They all want to know her. Brit scares them. Ryan. I went to see her again on Friday. Mr. Gower told me on the phone that she wasn't being sick now. Wonder what they did with my handkerchief. There was nobody at reception. I hung around, then I wandered down the corridor to her room. I still got a jolt when I saw Tara Gower on the door. I knocked, but nobody answered. I knocked again, stood there feeling stupid, said, "Hello?" and went in. Maybe she was asleep. She wasn't asleep. She wasn't there. The bed was empty. Another stab of panic shot through me. Then I realised they must have taken her somewhere in the wheelchair. The card still hung over her bed. The Chinese guy's fluffy dog sat on a bedside table. Somebody had put a doctor's stethoscope round its neck. A sweatshirt or something lay on her pillow. Suddenly I felt like a peeping Tom in a girl's bedroom. I've never actually been in a girl's bedroom, but I guess I hurried out. I was wandering back down the corridor when a voice called, "Ryan?" Tara's mother was sitting in a little office-type room talking to a couple of nurses. "This is Ryan," she told them. "He comes to visit Tara." The two nurses smiled at me. One was a nice-looking redhead chick, though a bit old, 20 or so. But I didn't notice her that much, because I was still taking in what Mrs. G had said. So she hadn't told anyone that I was the one who... "Tara's off having another eye test," she told me. "I'll come and wait in reception with you." She grinned at the two nurses. "I've caught up on all the hospital gossip now, thanks." We sat in reception and she told me about the physio Tara was having and the words she was saying. Brilliant! They're talking about moving her to Watson House in a week or so. That's the rehabilitation unit over by Jubilee Park. It's got masses of physio equipment. They want to start her exercising as soon as she can. She turned her head from side to side, rubbing her neck, and I saw again how stressed she was. "This family group conference next Wednesday," she went on. "Richard and I aren't coming along to blame anyone, Ryan. We're just glad of the chance to talk it all out. Please tell your mum that." I nodded. She looked at me, and I knew something different was coming. "Ryan, there's one thing you have to remember. Tara doesn't know who you are. We've been showing her family photos, and she's forgotten some people. Her dad and I are worried what she'll do when she finds out about you. Please don't say anything to her. We think it's maybe better if she already knows you a bit, but we don't want her being set back." When were people going to stop treating me like I had some disease? But I nodded again. "You reckon Maybe I should stay away for a bit? Till after next Wednesday, perhaps. We might talk about it then. We don't want her to feel like we've been playing some sort of sneaky trick on her. She glanced at her watch. I'd better go get her. We want to find out why she's seeing some things blurry. I went down the stairs into the bright outside world. Seeing things blurry. Did that mean that she'd be... It was another bloody worry to try and take on board. Tara. I had a fright. Mum showed me a calendar. I couldn't read the figures properly, but I saw she was pointing to a date. November 4? No, November 14. Now, she was saying. That now. Something was wrong. When was I hurt? It was... No, I couldn't remember. But the weather was cold and raining, I remember that much. And it was dark, not like November. I wanted to ask. I thought and I swallowed and I made my mouth move. The words whispered out. When? Car? Mum started telling me. I couldn't understand all of it, and I saw she was getting upset. I started to feel scared too, and I began getting wild at her. November 14? Why couldn't she make sense? After a while, Dad was there. Mum and he sat and smiled at me. His face is skinnier, like hers. Maybe they're on a diet. I feel skinny too. Good. My bum was too big anyway. The patient was now returning to a more normal sleeping pattern with some daytime rest periods. Arrangements were begun to transfer her to Watson House. Further eye tests were discussed to investigate her vision problem. Ryan. The weekend flew past. The back fence John and I had fixed fell over, so we fixed it again. Monday came and went. 46 days. 3 more till the family group conference. But the really important thing now would be when Tara found out who I was. That and her not seeing things properly. How would I handle either of those? How would she handle it? Tara. Mum and Dad kept showing me photos and talking about the people in them. I understood them part of the time, but then I'd drift off and I couldn't remember what they'd told me. Pissed me off. Couldn't they take things more slowly? They said I was going to see someone called the Watsons. Never heard of them. Most of the photos were of Mum and Dad and me. Plus there was Auntie Tamsin and her boyfriend. His name is... I can't think. There were some of Mel and Britt and me at... That's right, at my 16th birthday, all grinning and pulling idiot faces. I looked at them. Then I made myself smile. It felt so weird. My face muscles were all weak and the left side of my mouth wobbled as it turned up. But it was a smile. I wanted to ask about that guy who helped me, the one who was here. I kept getting flashes of the car, but it was all far away, like it happened to a different person. I saw the car, then I saw him, and there was something else.